What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and we are talking about the fight between Jessica Andrade and Katlyn Chookagian. What a performance it was for Jessica. They clinched up a bit. It seemed that Andrade was the significantly stronger fighter, landed a massive slam, and then in the clinch, towards the end of the fight, Katlyn Chookagian was putting a lot of pressure against Andrade in the clinch. She really didn't seem to be able to keep Andrade off of her. I mean, if you watch, Andrade was closing distance, landing big hooks, as I predicted she would. I don't think Chookagian has the best range control, and against Andrade, that is absolutely necessary. Andrade, in the clinch, lands a massive body shot, hurts Chookagian. She does something very uncharacteristic, turns around, walks away for a moment, comes back, and is holding her stomach. She was hurt. Andrade, of course, throws a flying knee, bum rushes her, and lands another massive body shot, puts Chookagian down, and gets herself a first round stoppage victory by TKO or maybe even knockout. I mean, technically, it is a body shot knockout, in my opinion, and what a performance. As I said, the body shots would make a difference here. I thought that they would potentially make a difference later in the fight, but Andrade stops Katlyn Chookagian, a very solid women's flyweight, in the first round. Serious statement here for Jessica Andrade, who I believe is a very legitimate threat to become a contender. Now, against Valentina Shevchenko, it's a very scary matchup. I would still like to see it. But quickly, let's preview the rankings and check them out. And let's see if I can find a potential next matchup. I have some ideas in my head right now, but I want to look at the legitimate top rankings. So Valentina Shevchenko, number 1. Katlyn Chookagian was number 2. Here's my opinion. Jessica Andrade just beat the number 2 girl in the world. Yes, Cynthia Calvillo, Lauren Murphy. They're fighting next week on the Khabib versus Gaethje undercard. I would say this: it depends on how impressive either of them look. I think if Lauren Murphy wins, she could potentially still be in a title shot. I mean, 3 straight wins in a row. She's kind of going to be pushing towards it. But I could see Andrade jumping the line. She just beat the number 2 girl in the world, Katlyn Chookagian. I feel like, I mean, how do you not give her the shot? Katlyn Chookagian owns a win over Jennifer Maia, who's fighting for the title up next against Valentina Shevchenko. My opinion, right now, Andrade is the number 1 contender after Maia. Now, if Cynthia Calvillo looks fantastic against Lauren Murphy, maybe they do that fight. But personally, what sells more? The former world champion of the strawweight division or Cynthia Calvillo, a contender at strawweight? I don't think that sells nearly as much. I think if I'm the UFC, I'm going with the Andrade fight. Why not do that? Let's do Andrade versus the winner of Shevchenko-Maia. I'm going to assume it's going to be Shevchenko. Stylistically, seems like obviously Shevchenko should get it done. But let's say that fight does happen. It's a huge super fight, a former champion who came in and blitzed a very tough Katlyn Chookagian in the first round. She's not cutting weight. And at the end of the day, her last fight at women's strawweight, she gave Rose Namajunas a back-and-forth battle that was very competitive and really did some damage to Rose's face. And I think that Jessica Andrade, Valentina Shevchenko is a sweet fight, and I'm really curious to see it. I do think Valentina's precise kickboxing may be a little bit too much, but it could be a very fun fight. But we'll see what the UFC wants to do. I will give what's next for Katlyn Chookagian, who took a very disappointing defeat here. If you look down at the rankings, there are some options. I could see potentially her fighting the loser of Cynthia Calvillo and Lauren Murphy. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I feel like that's the one I'd personally go with. I know Joanne Calderwood and Jessica I believe, were scheduled to fight. I know that Calderwood has a recent loss to Chookagian. Potentially, maybe the winner of that fight could fight Chookagian. I mean, Chookagian's still a top 5 girl in the world. I don't know how many slots she's going to drop with this loss to Andrade. I don't think it'll be more than ranked number 5. I mean, that could be the worst. I couldn't see her being ranked outside of the top 5 by any means. She may even remain in the top 3 or 4, and she's still a serious contender in that division. Now, do I ever see her becoming champion? I don't know. That's going to be very tricky with Valentina at the top, but who knows? She needs to just keep persevering and fighting, and she is good, but she was stopped by Andrade brutally here. So in my opinion, I like the matchup, the Lauren Murphy-Calvillo loser versus Chookagian, or you do the winner of Jessica I. Calderwood versus Chookagian. That's a potential fight that I think could be interesting. Either of those 4 possible options for her could be very interesting, but I do think Jessica Andrade in the title fight is going to be a massive fight, and I think it's going to sell. I think it really is. I mean, you have a very scary former women's strawweight champ versus the current flyweight champion, and I think it's an awesome fight. But as I mentioned, I do think the precise kickboxing could be a bit too much for Andrade, and I guess maybe that could potentially be why they slow her roll as for a title shot and make her take one more. But personally, I'd give her the title shot. I feel like that is probably going to be what they do next. But all right, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll see you all in the next video.